Welcome to Women in Leadership Talk, where you'll hear from successful women who are empowering other women with their stories of adversity, resiliency, and success. And here is your host, Vicki Bradley, founder and CEO of Women in Leadership Empowered.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Women in Leadership Talk podcast. Thank you for joining us. We're so grateful to have you here. And usually I say this at the end of the podcast, but I'm going to ask you to do this today. I need you to do me a favor. I need you to go in and leave us a review. Let us know what you think of our podcast. This is what keeps us growing and bringing all these amazing guests to you so that you can hear, from different voices all around the world. So thank you for being here. And I'm thrilled to introduce Jill Biren. Jill, thank you so much for joining us all the way from the West Coast in California, right?
Yes. Well, thank you, Vicki. It is absolutely my pleasure to be here today. I'm thrilled that we get the opportunity to chat.
Likewise. And audience, I'm going to say to you, Jill is so resilient. What an amazing person. She and I actually had this podcast scheduled several months ago. And then when LA was devastated with, all the things that took place, we had to postpone. And so she's a brave soul and has gotten through, the challenges and the devastation that took place in LA with, her family, her friends. And so we're grateful, Jill, to have you here.
Thank you. Yes, we are good. We are definitely grateful and, always still thinking about those who are deeply affected by the fires, but we will persevere.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. So audience, let me give you a little bit of background about Jill and why I invited her to be on the show. Typically, we always are talking about women and girls and how we support. And, this is also a very, very important conversation when we're talking about our youth. And Jill is the co-founder of a company called JB Skrub. She has a unique background as a 16-year veteran at Condé Nast and co-founder alongside Modern Family star Julie Bowen. She's passionate about empowering tweens and teens to embrace body care and skin care. And we were just having a conversation before we went live here with you today, just about the importance of how that impacts our young people's confidence, their ability to connect with others. But let me just give you a little bit more. But she's a media professional. She's a mother of 2 sons. And what prompted JB Skrub is her recognition of a gap in the marketplace. And most of these brands usually target young skin care users that focus on girls, which will often overlook our boys, and especially in these critical preteen years. So this is how JB Skrub was born. And it's here to address this lost opportunity. So her product is made up of natural and fuss-free products, and it's designed to meet the Gen Alpha's needs, which combine skin and scalp care essentials. And so I'm not going to go into much more detail than that at this moment, because I think it's important that you hear from Jill this journey that, she's been on. So Jill, let's jump into, what this journey's been like. I mean, you've gone from media personality and professional to this interest in beauty and tweens and teens and entrepreneurship. I mean, entrepreneurship is a very tough road for sure.
Yes.
So maybe talk to us about, why tweens and teens and what the impact has been so far.
Yes. So my story goes back 6 years ago when I was representing the best brands in publishing, Teen Vogue, GQ, Allure, and it was for advertising and marketing. And I'm here in Los Angeles, and I was working with major brands based here in LA, and they were coming to me and saying, we want to speak to the Teen Vogue audience. We want to speak to those who are preteens and teens and talk to them about our new skincare lines. And at the same time, my oldest son was 11 at this time. And all of the things that they were talking about, I was feeling as a parent that I needed to get him on a skincare routine. He was still using his very clean and gentle baby wash. And he had just told me as I was packing him up for camp, like, Mommy, I cannot take baby wash to camp. I'm like, you're right. Like, I need to find you your own. And so these brands were telling me that they wanted to speak to young girls. And I was like, but I have a son who has these same needs. Do you speak to boys? And the answer was no. And so that's when the aha moment occurred. And simultaneously, I was also like having conversations with Julie Bowen, who's a friend, a fellow mom at school with children the same age as my boys, and asking her, hey, what do you use on your sons? Like, they're not men. They're hardly like men. And we don't want them to smell like they just came out of some club with overly fragrant products that are also hormonally disruptive. What do you use? And she was like, yeah, there's nothing. Like, I don't know. Like, and we knew that we as parents, as adults, we had clean and gentle products, but we also weren't in the place to give our young sons our glass bottles of product. Like, that was just not a safe decision for an 11-year-old. So the aha moment struck us, and we decided, you know what, let's do this together. And I was fortunate enough to know quite a number of people in the world of beauty who could help with formulation and with marketing. And so we decided to roll up our sleeves in the idea came prior to 2019, but we formulated our company early. And it was truly like during COVID when we were working through, like, what does this look like? What would a skincare line look like, feel like, be formulated to meet the needs of this white space, which is like preteen, teen boys at the time.
Love that.
And
wow.
Yeah.
I love how, as a lot of women in particular, this creativity that has come about during COVID, so many amazing businesses, and maybe it's the fact that we were able to slow down a little bit to actually see where the gaps were, right? But an entrepreneur journey is not an easy road at all. So when you and Julie started this, like, you saw this gap, but what were some of those hurdles in the early days that kept you going, kept that dream alive, saying, we really have to do this?
Yeah. So, look, there was no playbook. There was not another brand who had done this exactly the way that we wanted to and had done it with success that we could just follow along. So we really were creating this road ahead of us without a script. We led with asking a number of questions, and perhaps that also slowed us down in addition to COVID. But we kept going because everyone that we did speak to was saying to us, yes, I need that. I need that for my kids, or what a great idea. Nobody else has done this before. They may have done something similar, but not in the same light. And both Julie and I are go-getters. We have a third partner, Rachel, who also has the fire in her belly. And the three of us hold each other accountable, and we just kept going. And if we didn't know the answer, we would keep digging deeper until we could find one.
Well, and that's important, right? Like the surrounding yourself. Like if somebody's, listening to the call today and you're thinking about, oh, wow, I want to start this business, like surrounding yourself with either advisors, mentors, or partners, people that can help you to navigate the complexities, but also sometimes it's the no's that we get, right? But
Right.
that conviction you had of, yes, this is right. We got to keep going with this is amazing.
Yes. And, on our advisory board, we have pediatricians and dermatologists, and they kept us going along the way. And both are female, both of those particular advisors. And you're right about, like, when somebody says no, that just ignites the fire in you further. And there were times when people said, like, I don't know if you can do this, and we're like, oh, we know we can, and we're getting the positive feedback from those who really matter. And here we are 2 years later, and we've really made a difference in a number of families' lives. So it's quite rewarding.
Love it, love it, love it. So, you talked about like that forge, pushing forward. Sometimes it's hard for people to get really clear on, who they want to be, right? Because there's a lot of noise out in the industry. And you mentioned, we're doing something different that others, maybe something similar, but not exactly. So what were those, or what are, I should say, those core values that was really important to the three of you in bringing, JB Skrub to fruition?
Yeah, I mean, safety is really number one, right? It's creating a product that adheres to like the highest standards for safety, for ingredients. We When we decided to develop the formula, we worked with a professional formulator, with a great chemist who only works with clean, and you can, define clean in many different ways, but we defined clean as following Credo guidelines and Sephora clean guidelines. At the time, those were truly like the two brands that held the highest definition of clean. And that's with safety, because we are putting ourselves out there for families to use the products on their children. And we also felt that having a brand that doesn't take itself too seriously was important. So like something that's important to us is like holding a sense of humor. And we also feel like there are great ways to educate kids through humor. And so that even is translated in like the packaging, the copy on the packaging. As an example, the back of the body wash reads, as a helpful JB Skrub tip, PNB, standing for pits, nuts, butts, in that order. And that's like, it's there's truth in this. And like, we need to, help our kids know, like, hey guys, like there's an order of operations when it comes to like cleaning your body. So like we have so much fun. We don't take, we know, again, we're being purchased by parents, and we want to be able to provide a product that's safe for them, that helps their kids with their self-care, their hygiene, and it's working.
Awesome. Awesome. So I'd love to hear, like, what are some of the, not just the parents, but what are some of the kids saying about the product? Because when you just gave that example, I thought back to when my son was young, and I remember my daughter always saying, "Oh, he's so smelly. Oh, he stinks, Mom. He needs to take a shower."
Yeah. No, isn't that the truth? So it's great. Like, the feedback that we've received has been tremendous, and both with the reviews, and then also we do survey our audience. We do once a year, and so we get great insight. But this is what we've learned. So it's the parents who are purchasing the product, and many times this is the very first time that their kids have had a skincare routine, a face care routine, or it's the first time that they've had product that's just for themselves. And they love it, and they're using the product. It's empty. They're telling their parents that they need more. And that's amazing. The parents are also saying this is the first time that their kids are actually, there's no struggle in getting them to take a shower, which is major. It's like that moment when your child has graduated from, wearing diapers. Like, it's a major moment to get to the place where they are taking a shower on their own, and it's actually an effective shower where they're using soap. And then there's the feedback that we receive that's very specific to face care, which is like, their breakouts have calmed down. Their skin is looking clearer. that's massive, right? Like that's very, very visual. And the other interesting thing is that, boys have a tendency not to create videos, social media talking about their skincare as much as girls do. So in the last 6 months, what we've discovered is that the girls have discovered us and they love to talk about what they're using, how effective it is, that what they love. And so just naturally, organically, our audience has grown. And we love the fact that we have both the parents talking about the product, and then from social, we have girls talking about the product. And we even have like this great darling girl who talks about her brother using the product. She can't get him on camera, but she can tell the story that my brother plays hockey and I've given him the body spray and he no longer stinks. So like
Nice.
that's the best kind of endorsement like to receive.
No kidding. No kidding. And so funny because when you were saying, they're taking a shower and actually using the wash, because I used to have that my son's now an adult, but I used to have that conversation with my son. I'm like, I know you went under the water, but did you actually use the soap? I mean, because I would buy him nice, like, body care, not specific for boys, which thank you for doing the work you're doing. But it's so funny because they all are doing it. And so parents, if you're listening to this and you have a son that's in that tween or teen age group, this is normal. They all go through this. Plus, they don't want to brush their teeth. So, Jill, that's a new. You guys need to have
opportunity.
But share with your sons like the importance. And girls don't like smelly boys, so that's really important.
We're doing this for our the future, the girls for their futures, exactly. Right? We're teaching them. We're as moms of boys, like we're teaching these boys to be better, for their future partners.
Exactly. I love it. And it's so funny because I had a girlfriend, her sons are quite a bit older than my children. But I remember her saying to me one time, oh, just wait till he gets a girlfriend. And then when he gets a girlfriend, he'll want to shower. And she was not wrong.
Yeah.
Very true. Like once he had his first girlfriend, it was in the shower a lot. And,
yes.
Self-care happens, but we do need to teach them earlier. So I love that you ladies have brought this product to market, and I think it's fabulous. But, the reality is a lot of people give up on those dreams, and it becomes a struggle, right? When we talked a little bit about the no's, but how do you keep that dream alive? How have you navigated these last many years of getting it into the hands and the eyes of more people and believing in your heart that we're doing the right thing?
Yes, no, it's so true. And, our audience keeps us going and motivated. So the reviews that we receive, we read every single review. We respond to most every one of the reviews. And when grandparents are writing to us, mothers, fathers, and they are continuing to tell us like how this is truly making a difference with their families, that's when it's truly gratifying, and that's what keeps the fire alive in us. When we hear that, again, like a family has struggled to get their son to take a shower and is finally doing so, or it's their skin, they're finally in a skincare routine that's working. The positive reinforcement helps to keep us going. So we're grateful for our audience.
Nice. Well, and that's important, right? Like hearing that feedback to know that what you are doing is working, and the impact. It's not just about, I was joking about, I wasn't joking, this is the way my son was, but it's the ripple effect of doing this, because that confidence, that self-esteem rises. And at that age group, that's so important, because you're just starting to notice girls, or your friend group could be changing, or just really elevating how you feel about yourself. So that's the real I would say, outcome of the work you ladies are doing.
Yeah. No, and even our own children, like Julie's sons, my sons, the boys have always been a part of this brand. Um, the when we started, so they were like 11 years old. So now my youngest is 15 years old. And so even the changes of what an 11-year-old needs versus what a 15-year-old needs, and how he's using the product and how he's reacting to it, where he now gets occasional breakouts and he's saying to me, Mom, these face pads really, really work. Like,
Nice.
that feels great. Like, we know it, we see it by the numbers that it's our number one seller, but no one's telling him to write a review.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Wow, that's amazing. So if you think back, Jill, when this started, and if you were to reflect on the challenges, the rewards that have happened, what kind of advice would you want to share with somebody who's getting ready to take this jump in entrepreneurship, or to create a business? What would you tell them to, help them not have to go through maybe some of the hurdles or challenges that you went through?
Yeah. The first thing I would say is, when you have this idea and it's burning inside of you, like it was for us, for me, and you're thinking about it day in, day out. I was working full time, and on my commute, I was thinking about, like, I know I can do this. I see it, and it's just bubbling inside of you. You have to listen to that voice. And somebody said to me, are you going to live your life based upon making decisions based upon your passion, or are you going to make choices based upon fear? And that really resonated. And it is like following your passion. And then I feel like one of the greatest gifts I gave myself was asking the questions of people who I trusted. And once upon a time ago, somebody said to me, like, the answer is always no unless you ask. And that's true. So along the way, when I was unsure about certain things, I really leaned in hard on my relationships, people who I had met through business, asking friends of friends, and people, I think, are very welcoming to help others. And we especially as women, we can really, there's so much power that we have to help one another. And my biggest recommendation is, again, to just embrace your network and ask the questions, and the answer will present itself to you.
Love it. Love it. So on that same note, what has been the most challenging so far? Because there's always that one thing, right? That we look back and we go, oh my gosh, that almost, made me give up or give in. But that, again, we'll go back to resilience. But what did that look like?
The most challenging, on any given day, there feels like, okay, well, that's like the most challenging thing. Like, so, right? Like, it's all relative. So, during COVID, it was tough because we really wanted to launch on a particular date, and it just was the supply chain that held us back. And so that forced us probably to buy an additional 6 months of waiting. So at the time, that was a challenge. Another challenge, that we deal with is like just speaking to two different audiences. So, we're speaking to the purchaser who's a parent, right? But on the other hand, the user is a preteen or teen, and that can be challenging. So we have to juggle a lot of balls with different social media to speak to a different audience, which resonates with the various audiences.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Nice. And what have you learned through those challenges?
Yeah. The greatest lesson, as it relates to the marketing, we had hired an agency to take that off of our plate.
Mm.
And what we learned was that we actually knew how to do it better than they did. So the
Nice.
scripts that they presented to us, we found ourselves reworking, rewriting, filming ourselves. And that comes with like the expertise that lies within both Julie and Rachel on our team, having a production background. So we decided that, like, okay, we don't have to hire a major marketing company. We can do this on our own. We can trust our own gut when it comes to, speaking to these audiences. We don't need to have an agency of 10 players. So again, it goes back to like trusting your gut.
Yeah. I love that you shared that, and thank you.
Yeah.
Because so often when we start our businesses, we think we have to, have the website exactly, or we have to have the marketing exactly. And sometimes it's not until you're in it that you realize, hey, I actually know this audience really well. Right.
You do.
And I, like you, I was similar when I started my business and had, spent my first year, all my money went into marketing. And then I realized actually I didn't have to do that. And they were great on certain parts of it. But I knew my consumer base. I knew my clientele way better than they did. And so the moral of that story is, it's not to say don't go hire a marketing firm if that's what you need. Right. But I think what Jill has brought up here that's so important is recognizing that don't let that become an obstacle to hold you back. Like you still got to forge forward. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And just be resourceful.
Yeah. Love that. Love that. So Jill, what is next for JB Skrubs? Like, what are you ladies up to?
I know. So we have been quite busy. We'll have another product release later this year, which we're very excited about, which that comes from our listening to our audience. We launched shampoo last year, and that again came from like listening to our audience and the survey that we did that they needed a shampoo for their kids. And we're also like, we're sold on our own website and Amazon, and retail is starting to listen. So we are a small team, but we're entertaining some good conversations to be able to bring JB Skrub to a wider audience.
Nice.
It keeps us busy.
Yes, well, exactly. And you answered one of my questions, because I was going to say, where can our audience find your product? And is it only available in the US, or can you buy it anywhere in the world?
Yes. So we are available in the US, on Amazon and on our own D2C. Holiday timing, we were available in Canada. And we hope to have that distribution again in time for the holidays or for the second half of this year. But we're excited. Like, there's a lot more to come.
Awesome. And maybe share, if you would, Jill, share your social media so that those that are listening, that are interested. I mean, we do have, people listening from 50 some countries across the world. So how can they chime in? How can they find you if they have questions about their son's personal care?
Absolutely. So you can find us on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok, on YouTube, and it's JB Skrub with a K. So SKRUB. And then go to our website where you'll find all the social handles. So that's jbskrub.com. But we welcome any questions, any thoughts. We're a small, mighty team, but we try our very best to get back to everyone in a timely manner.
I love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it. Okay. I'm going to put you on the spot here and I apologize,
Okay.
but it just, as you said it, it kind of came to me.
Yeah.
Is there any promo, any opportunity for them to try you out the first time with a,
Promo code?
Yeah.
Yes, we will absolutely. You can use the promo code WIL Talk, so WIL Talk 20 for a 20% discount. And that will be good until the end of April.
Nice. Nice. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much. And sorry to put you on the spot on that.
Yes.
We did not talk about that, audience.
Yes. Very
I love
exclusive for your audience.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Any final parting words you'd like to share with our audience?
Just keep forging ahead and surround yourself, with positive friends and people, and just positivity grows positivity. And it's great. I think your podcast is fantastic to uplift your audience, and that's what we feel is so important, is just surrounding yourselves with others who bring out the best in you.
Oh, amazing.
And thank you for having me.
Of course. No, happy to have you here. And, I would share with our audience, keep working on those young men, those tweens and teens, keep pushing them to take those showers and get their own personal care products. I think that is really important, because they do tend to take more ownership, and don't give up hope. They will get through the smelly stages.
They will.
Yes.
It just takes time.
It does. It does. A little bit of prodding from moms, but that's okay. Yeah. Well, Jill, thank you. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to share with us today.
Thank you, Vicki. It truly was a pleasure.
Well, loved having you. And audience, as always, thank you so much for being here. Jill shared, if you use WIL Talk 20, you'll get a 20% off on that first purchase. That's good through the end of April 2025. I'll just clarify that. It's not open-ended. But, hey, if you want to try this and you've got a teen or a tween in that age group, please do have them check out the products, see what people are saying about their products. I think it's really awesome that they have filled the gap in this particular area. So check that out, and please do leave us a review. Let us know how we're doing. That keeps us growing, as I said earlier. And lastly, I share this with you, but we have a little gift for you. If you go on our WIL Empowered website, we have a free leadership quiz, which gives you incredible insight as to how you're showing up as a leader in the world. And that doesn't mean you have to have a title. That means how you're showing up and engaging in this world. So we thank you for being here, and we look forward to seeing you on the next Women in Leadership Talk podcast. Take care, everyone, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you for joining us for WIL Talk, sponsored by Women in Leadership Empowered. To learn more about our programs, please visit www.wilempowered.com. We look forward to seeing you in our community.